There is something interesting about mandala art. From a distance, it looks intricate and almost impossible to create. People often ask me how long it takes to learn something like this, or how much patience it requires. And the truth is, mandala art didn't come into my life because I was patient. It came into my life to teach me patience. Over time, this art form slowly changed the way I approach not just creativity but life itself. Today, I want to share a few lessons that mandala art quietly taught about patience. Every mandala begins the same way, a simple circle, a few lines that divide the space, nothing complicated, nothing impressive. But those simple lines become the foundation of everything that follows. Mandala art reminds you that most meaningful things in the life begin quietly. Before the beauty, before the complexity, there is always a simple beginning. When people see a finished mandala, they see complexity. But when you're creating it, the reality is very different. It's one small shape repeated many times, one pattern, then another, and then another. At times, it can feel slow, but slowly you realize something, that repetition is not boring. Repetition actually builds the rhythm, and rhythm builds progress. Mandala art showed me that consistency, even in small steps, eventually creates something extraordinary. When you work with symmetrical patterns, you naturally want everything to be perfect. But the truth is, perfection rarely happens. Lines may not align exactly, a dot may be slightly off, a pattern might feel uneven. In the beginning, these imperfections used to bother me, but over time I realized something very important. Imperfection doesn't ruin the artwork, it actually humanizes it. And patience often begins when we stop fighting every small mistake. Like we all know, mandala art is repetitive, and because of that, something interesting happens while you're creating. Your mind starts to slow down. At first, you may be thinking about many things like what to draw next, whether it looks good, whether it will turn out well. But as you continue, those thoughts gradually become quieter. Your attention shifts to the rhythm of the process, and in that quiet rhythm, patience naturally grows. Not because you forced it, but because art guided you there. Some art forms allow you to work quickly. Mandala art does not. Every line requires attention, every pattern requires balance. And if you rush it, the artwork reflects that. This art form constantly reminds you that speed is not the goal, presence is. And that's a lesson that extends far beyond art. There are many moments while creating a mandala where you can't see yet how the final piece would look. You're somewhere in the middle. Patterns are incomplete, the designs isn't fully visible yet, and it can feel uncertain. But if you keep going one layer at a time, the artwork eventually begins to reveal itself. Mandala art taught me that patience often means trusting a process even when you cannot see the outcome. One of the most surprising things about practicing mandala art over time is how subtly improvement happens. You don't always notice it immediately, but slowly your lines become steadier, your patterns become more confident, your designs become more expressive. Growth doesn't always announce itself loudly. Sometimes it happens quietly through patience and consistent practice. Mandala art didn't just teach me how to create patterns, it taught me how to slow down, how to trust time, and how to appreciate the beauty that comes from patience. If you are someone who feels drawn to mandala art, I hope this encourages you to begin your own journey, not with the expectation of perfection, but with the willingness to learn through the process. Because sometimes the most valuable lessons in art are the ones that transform the way we live.